welcome to Knit One, Heart Two,
episode 130.
Yay. I am Sheila, also known as Sheila D37. I don't know what that one's about.
I don't know. The way we said hi at the beginning made me laugh. I'm Wendy, also known as Penny Wenny, and if this is your first time watching, thank you for dropping by.
Good luck
and
to you.
And if you're a return viewer, thank you for coming back.
And the reason I say good luck is because I've had zero sleep.
She's had zero sleep.
I came straight from my overnight job.
And we missed you last week. I was on vacation and Sheila was not able to record without my equipment. So now we're back. We got 2 weeks worth of stuff to do. So let's start out with the shout outs. Do you have any shout outs?
I don't think so. No, I don't think so.
Okay, just the general shout out is we are doing a knit along, crochet along, and we have two flavors. You can either knit a sweater by the end of October. October 31st is the last day, or you can knit hats for charity. You can pick either one. There will be prizes for each knit along. And actually, we had a lovely viewer offer to donate a prize, so I'm going to take her up on that offer.
Oh, good.
It's a really sweet story. I'm not going to tell her name because she didn't tell me to, but it's somebody who won a prize, and she said she wanted to give back because she thought it was so thoughtful. We sent the prize to Europe, and she said she was thrilled that we allowed people from other countries to participate, even though the shipping is expensive, and it is. But we do it because it's kind of cool that people other than in the United States watch our show. And we don't want to exclude anybody from our challenges and our contests, because where's the fun in that? So anyway, I thought that was very nice, and she is going to donate something. So we'll have more on that at the end of the contest when we do the prizes. So that's number one. Number two, I just wanted to give you a heads up. At the end of this show, we are going to do a quick review of a new app that syncs with Ravelry. It's called Skein. We were both sent it to use as a review copy. Blah, blah, blah. I can't even talk.
Spit it out.
And so we're going to do a quick review on that at the end. And we're taking part in a blog tour for Stephannie Tallent's new collection of patterns called Hitch. They're all based on Alfred Hitchcock movies. She curated it, which means she designed a few, but she collected together a bunch of really awesome designers. And they put out a book and an ebook from Cooperative Press. So I have that. We're going to do that review at the end as a part of the blog tour. And there will be a contest that you can win next week to get a PDF copy of the book, which if you like to knit anything, you're going to want to get in on that. So that'll be at the end. And then let's go right into it. On the dance card, I think I'm first this week. So I'm going to roll.
Sounds good. I'm just looking. So.
I'm rolling. You're not even in the screen.
Oh, I'm
sorry.
My
mom's going to have a fit.
Sorry, I was looking at the pattern, even though I'm not. Sorry.
So, the first thing on my dance card is still the Hiro sweater by Julia Farwell Clay.
It's a good thing you're not doing it for Rhinebeck, huh?
Oh, yeah, thank God. If I was doing it for Rhinebeck, I'd probably have a little more, motivation to work on it.
Maybe.
I worked on this. I swear to you, I worked on this at least a couple of hours. I still haven't gotten past the decreases to the waist. Because knitting stockinette in a solid color is really boring. It was so interesting when I was knitting my hand-spun sweater, because I never knew what color was going to come up. Right. And that kind of gave it some excitement. I swear, I have to do 10 rows between each decrease. And I'm I knit 1,000 rows and it's 3. I knit 1,000 more rows, 4. It's horrible. So that's why there's not a lot done on this. It is out of Valley Yarns. I can't remember what kind of yarn it was. Well, it's in the show notes. It'll be in the show notes. It is an alpaca wool blend. It has a halo. You can see it.
Oh, really?
You can't really see it. It's going to have a bit of a halo. You can kind of see it. You can see it a little bit.
Right on the other side there.
Yeah, you can see it. I think it's really pretty. It's going to be very warm. It's definitely going to be an outdoor sweater. This is not going to be a sweater that you want to wear in your house. I think it's going to be too heavy for that.
Unless you lose your power.
Well, yeah. Unless you live in Alaska and you have no heat, in which case, this is going to be my husband walking in. Just ignore the noise. What are the odds he's going to yell, "Hey!"
Shush.
Okay, he remembered. So that's Hiro. The second thing that I have on the needles, and I am very excited about this. I got a lot of work done on this when I was on vacation.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about it.
I crocheted edging on all 60
good.
of the ones that I had done, and I made another 10 that I haven't crocheted on. So I have like 70 of these.
You're going to block these before you put them together?
I'm going to sew them together, and then I'm going to block it as a whole.
Okay.
It will be easier that way.
Did you see Polly Knits?
No, I didn't. What is on Polly Knits?
Not the video he posted.
His blanket? Yes,
oh
I saw on Instagram.
Really good on Instagram.
It was lovely. If you're on Instagram, check out Polly Knits.
He did a big Afghan square. It was crocheted, wasn't it?
He did a big Afghan.
But it was crocheted.
Yeah.
It fit a king-size bed.
It's huge.
Looked awesome.
So yeah, you can see I did all those. It looks like a lot of work. This whole bag is full. It's about 60, plus I have 10 that I did when I was on vacation that I haven't yet crocheted on.
Where are they?
The ones that I did?
Yeah,
right
I
here.
want to see the new 10.
Let me see if I can find them. Here's one.
Were you just reusing some of your stuff?
No.
So, like, you never duplicated any
I
of these
try not to
squares?
duplicate, no.
Cool.
That's hand-dyed that we did with that Kool-Aid. Oh, you know what? They might be in my other bag that I don't have over
I don't
here.
recall this one. This one's kind of nice.
Yeah, I think the new ones, except for that first one, are in my scrap bag because I was just
curious.
using that. But I have 10 more that I haven't put on that I did at the beach, and this is going really well. It looks like a lot of work to get all of the... Did I just show you that one?
I don't know.
It must have fallen out of the bag. But it really only took me like an hour to do the ones that I had. It's really fast to crochet the edging on.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's going really well. I have now about 70 squares. I need to lay the squares out on my dining room table and measure how big it is.
Yeah.
To decide if I need more. So it's really... I'll show you how the crocheting
the reason
is.
I'm asking, looking at it is because I think that's what I got to do on this project.
Oh, yeah.
So I was just looking at it.
You follow basically the it's kind of like the cross hatches in the thing to figure out how to crochet it on.
Did you like do a
It's a single crochet. I do single crochet and then I crochet one and then I do single crochet.
So that it's not pulling, right?
Right. And then in the corners I do 2 and an extra one.
Yep. Okay.
But the corners set up are different. So one of them I do 3 single crochets without a gap, and the other one I do crochet, single crochet, crochet in the same hole. It makes the right kind of edge.
A stitch, so to speak.
So, that's going really well. And the last thing, I'm really excited about this. I put the seashell shawl in the naughty closet. And I started Semele by Asa Tricosa. And I'm doing it in the Leading Men Fiber Arts Ghost Light Lace in the Envy colorway that I was given by Steve.
Pretty.
It's gorgeous.
I love that color.
I love this yarn. I cannot tell you how much I love this yarn. It's beautiful.
Oh, nice.
Isn't it gorgeous? So this is hold it up a little so we can put it there. This is it so far.
Sorry.
And I have this much left. I haven't weighed the skein. This is a 100-gram skein.
So what do you do? Weigh it at a half point or whatever?
It's a 100-gram skein. So when I get to about 40 grams, I think I'm going to do like a couple of center ones where I don't do... Right now I'm doing... You start out doing a steep increase. Now I'm doing the gentle increase. Then I'm going to do a couple of repeats where I don't do an increase at all, and then I'll start the decreases. And that'll give me a little leeway so that I don't have it... so I don't have to worry about it, but it's gorgeous. I love it.
I'm sorry.
This is Semele. It's kind of an unusual construction. You start out by knitting just this little leaf on the end. I had a real hard time understanding the directions for this, but if you go to the Asa Tricosa Ravelry group, there are a couple of picture tutorials that explain it better than the pattern does, and then there are people who've linked to blogs and stuff So that's how it took me a couple of times to figure this out. The yarn, this is a merino silk blend. It held up extremely well to frogging because I had to frog this thing a couple of times. So that's a good thing to know. It's lovely. It's not splitty. It's kind of a sturdy yarn, and it's so soft.
It is soft.
It's so soft. And I love that the dye is doing like these stripes. I think the striping is really beautiful.
Oh, yeah.
The little faint stripes of dark. It's going to be gorgeous. I don't know how long it's going to take me to do. The pattern, once you figure out how to knit this leaf and then get it going, the pattern is really easy. I have to glance at it. There is a section where you have one leaf that you're working on, one leaf that you just start, and one leaf that's the very tip. When that happens, when it divides into 3 like that, I have to look at the pattern to remind myself how to do that divide. But other than that, I pretty much know what to do. It doesn't say you have to, but I put 2 stitch markers where the straightaway is, just so that I know to just knit. I don't have to count.
Right, you can be mindless in that section.
Yeah, because what you do is you do an increase at this end, and that way I just can knit along. But I love it. I'm loving it so much. I knit on this quite a bit.
Oh, good.
And it's gorgeous.
It is pretty.
I wish my lighting today did more justice to the color of this yarn. It looks much colder on here. It's a much warmer green, much more of a yellow green in real life. But yeah, so if you like lace knitting, check out this Ghost Light lace from Leading Men Fiber Arts. It's a pretty good yarn. I think it might be my new favorite lace yarn. So that's all I have on the needles.
Oh, I didn't realize you were almost done. I wouldn't have started mine.
Ta-da!
All right, I have Urbana by Stephen West on the needles still. I have to knit and increase until there's 200 stitches.
Yeah.
Stitches. And I think I'm like 30 stitches away, so about 15 rows, because you increase on each row.
That's cool.
And then you have to do something else. But it's
my husband coughing in the background. He has pneumonia.
Still?
Yeah.
Sorry. So, it's going to be awkward because I'm in the middle, but he has a little keyhole.
Oh, cool.
And I think I'm going to border it with red.
I think that'll be really pretty.
And so it pulls out this way, and then you do... where am I here? Yeah. Then you bind off, and you add on, so it switches the direction.
Oh, cool.
Do I have it? So I was hoping to finish it, but some things came up last week that were a lot more stressful than I thought they were going to be. Let's see, Urbana, where are you? So this is what it will look like, hopefully.
It will. It reminds me of a lake.
It does. Well,
in that photograph.
Because he uses blue.
A lake with a little island in it.
So that's what it is, and I am on the increase section. So I am still working on this section here. At some point, I'm working, so I'm getting to this point.
And then you're going to start going the other direction, yeah.
And then I think I start decreasing.
That's cool.
And I actually have something else on the needles, something tiny.
Wow.
So this is with Cascade Eco Wool.
Cool.
I think this was a half a skein that I had. This is what I have left, but I have
more.
Another half skein and a full skein. I have 2 full skeins of these, yeah.
You could make a hat, too.
Yeah.
It could be all matchy-matchy.
I could make a hat and probably give it away as a whole set, because you know me.
I
don't think I can wear wool. It makes
too
my
itchy?
neck, yeah.
What is the name of this account?
Urbana.
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 I think it's in the show notes, but I'm just writing it.
I think it's Urbana.
Yeah, like city, Urbana.
Yeah, urban Urbana. So I was at my phlebotomy job, and I saw something, and it inspired me. We have a little blood drop that has legs and arms and just sits on one of the analyzers for our screening. And I said to myself, I could make one of those.
I could do that.
So I am in the process of making a little blood drop. I probably will not put hands or anything on it. Probably just some eyes. But this is where it's at right now. I just started this last night.
Cute.
I'm using Plymouth sock yarn. I don't remember not cicada.
No, it's just cicada. Plymouth sock, right? It's just Plymouth sock.
I think so.
I could check my new phone app and tell you because I have some in my stash.
Fred, it's the only red sock yarn I had. I didn't want to use worsted weight because I didn't want it to be big.
Right.
I wanted it to be small.
To be tiny.
So if it's, I'm kind of making it up as I go, based on any dolls that you've ever made or made a circle out of it. I mean, you're just basically doing a hat in reverse.
Isn't that funny? I know I have Plymouth. Oh, you know why it's not on here? Because I gave it to my mom.
Yeah, I know I have it on mine. It's Plymouth sock yarn.
Yeah, all I have on my list is Plymouth yarn worsted.
It's got to be...
I think it's just Plymouth.
It's got to be Happy feet.
That's
it's got to be like 4 years old. Or no, it's got to be older than that. Whenever Fabric Place closed. But it's so old that when I pulled it out, you could see the spots of dust on it. It was really bad. I'm like, I should have washed this first. But I took a massive dose of allergy meds. So I will have this done. I don't know where it will be next week, but I will have it done, whether I give it away or keep it in my cart or something. But
cool.
I'll have it done. We'll see. Most likely. That's it. Oh, that's all I have on the needles.
Cool. All right. I have one date to rate. As you know, the last time I saw you, I was working on a Dalek for my son. It has dirt and grass all over it.
That is so bizarre.
This is my son's Dalek. That's how it turned out.
Is that how it does it look like it's supposed to look?
I have no idea. I am not, I don't, it's based on the classic Dalek pattern, but my husband, my son wanted it to be blue and white like R2-D2, so.
But, I mean, is he very happy with the results?
He loves it. In fact, he took this to the beach. That's why there is dust and dirt and stuff all over it.
Is there stuffing in there?
Yeah, there's stuffing everywhere. This is a weird stitch that I had to do. You can actually see the stuffing in it. I don't know. I learned a million different stitches that I've never used on this pattern. So that was really good, but it took me forever to do this. And I had to redo this gun arm like 7 times. It was a lot of work. I would not do this again. Not because the pattern was poorly written. It was actually pretty well written, and there were a lot of like explanations and tutorials. If you hadn't done some of the stuff, it just was really fiddly. And he didn't quite come out the shape that he was supposed to, because by the time I got down to the bottom, I was done counting, and I was just like, I'm just knitting it.
I'm done.
Yeah. So it just, if you really like crocheting amigurumi, then this is a great pattern for you, because you will learn a bunch of stuff that you might not already know. If you're just a casual crocheter, this is a lot of work.
Stay away.
No, don't stay away. I mean, it's worth making once, but it is a lot of design work. You had to make all these are all baubles. There's this strange stitch that you use for this that and around the neck that I'd never done before. That was real tight with worsted yarn and a smaller, because you're working to make it kind of stiff. But my son loves it. The pattern is called Dalek Amigurumi, and the designer is in the show notes, so that's how it turned out. And I knitted out of 2 kinds of acrylic yarn from Joanne Fabric, which are also in the show notes. So that's done. Whirlwind Romance, I just want to tell everybody that I'm going to be at Topsfield Fair next Wednesday evening for a spinning bee. So if you're in the area and you go to the Topsfield Fair on Wednesday evening, come by the barn where they're doing the spinning bee and say hello. Other than that, I have not done any spinning. But I totally have, like, a plan of action for this year's competition. Last year I didn't have the right equipment because I didn't realize I was in a contest. This year, I'm on it, man.
Because I'm like Flynn.
I'm in, like, I can't do beginner spinner anymore. Now I'm on, like, level 2. So I got to bring my A game.
That's true, too.
So that's the plan, man. Future dates. Oh, I have to go first. I was thinking about knitting some gloves out of fingering weight yarn. There was
like glove gloves?
Like gloves, yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know. I thought
which one? There's a couple of patterns that I love.
There's one that has like cables on it.
The naughty one?
Yeah, those are really pretty. I don't know. I've been thinking about it. It's only 2 weeks until Rhinebeck, so I'm not really sure I would finish him before Rhinebeck because I was like, oh, well, this could be really handy. But I don't know. It's in the back of my mind. So if I get
writing a list on what to bring because I have mittens I can bring.
Yeah, it's in the back of my mind that I want to do it, but I don't really have a specific pattern picked out. I have a couple that I like. There was a pair of gloves in the Hitch PDF booklet that I'm going to review that kind of set me off thinking, oh, that would be fun. And I want to make them out of Midnight Derby Dream in Color smooshie, which I have in the stash. So, other than that, no future dates from me.
I need to do slippers for myself.
Oh, yeah. My mom loved her slippers, by the way.
Oh, I meant to ask, yeah? They fit
perfectly.
Good. Glad to hear that. Yeah, it was cold one day, and I didn't want to, I don't know, last week or the week before, it was cold, and I'm thinking to myself, I really need to knit myself
just
some
bang
stuff.
them out. They're so
I know.
fast.
So after I finish that's what I'm going to do. I have so much. I have the same color as her. I can always do the same color as her.
one. You can be slipper twins.
Either that or I can just use scraps.
Is that it for your
future dates? Yeah.
Crushes and heartbreaks. We're going to do this really quick because I have 2 reviews to do. My crush is that we just spent the last week at the Southern Outer Banks, SOBX, for those of you who follow me on Instagram. I was going to call it on Instanet. Instagram. We had a great vacation, except for the fact that my husband had pneumonia the whole time because he would not go to the doctor until he got really, really sick. And then he finally went to the doctor, and he has really bad pneumonia. He's still having problems. He needs to go back to the doctor here to find out why he's not getting better faster.
Yeah.
So that happened. But the trip was great. I mean, aside from my husband not being able to do much, the rest of us had a really good time. And he was able to get out of bed by like Wednesday of the week. So we had a couple of days where we did stuff. But he's pretty sick. So him, probably a heartbreak. Us, we enjoyed it. And
hey, this year you didn't get sick. He did.
Yeah, I want to point out that I used my steroid inhaler and my rescue inhaler. I used my steroid inhaler once in the morning, once at night. I used my rescue inhaler 2 times during the day, and I am not sick, and it is the first week of October. Fingers crossed, knock on wood, I am not going to be sick for Rhinebeck this year for the first time in like 4 years.
He was sick before he went, right?
He was sick before he went. That really kicked me into the fear. I was like, I'm using my inhaler.
Well, I know, but that's great.
So, and I've been having a little, like, asthma when I'm out running, so I think I might get back on the steroid inhaler until after we're done with Rhinebeck. Because, seriously, the last 4 years, did he not just go out the front door?
I thought he did.
Are you in the kitchen?
Nope.
It must be the ghost.
Must be.
That was weird. It sounded like somebody was rummaging through the drawers, didn't it?
Hey, maybe he went back out.
If you're a serial killer, don't come in here. I have a weapon.
My gosh. Oh, there he is.
The pen.
He's outside again.
This might hear them the sword.
All right.
Anyway, my heartbreak is my son. He was supposed to have tubes in his ears. We've been going through this long process. We think he has a neurological issue, which may be something like Tourette's syndrome. And before we went to the neurologist, our pediatrician suggested that we have testing done at the school to have that information ready because the neurologist was going to ask for it anyway. And we found out other issues with him, like hearing loss, which was due to water behind his eardrum. So we're going to correct that before we went to do the neurological testing. He went in to have his tubes in his ears on Tuesday, and his heart rate was abnormally low. So he ended up at Children's Hospital, where he was seen by the emergency room team, 2 neurologists, 2 cardiologists, and an infectious disease specialist.
Trying to compete with Zachary.
I was thinking of that the whole time. Meanwhile, my son, I want you to understand, the entire time this was going on, he's like, la la la, hey, can I have a muffin? You know, he's like totally fine because nothing is wrong with him except the fact that his heart beats abnormally slow. So today I have to take him for an MRI to rule out tumors, infection in the brain, other swelling in the brain. Then he has to wear a Holter monitor to make sure that this is a naturally low heartbeat and not some other problem that you could only see by looking at the big picture. And we're still waiting for infectious disease to get the results back from the Lyme test because this could be related to Lyme disease. He was bitten by a deer tick and got the bullseye thing when he was 4. That is my heartbreak. Meanwhile, my kid's fine. He has no restrictions. They're pretty sure he just has a very efficient heart that beats more slowly than normal.
I've heard it many times.
You can be born that way.
Especially in, what were you saying? Long distance?
Long distance runners.
Yeah.
There are people who are born with naturally efficient hearts that just don't need to beat as fast to pump the blood through. He could be one of those. I know that they would not have discharged him from Children's if there was any chance that something was really wrong with him, but I'm still going to be worried about it until we get all the tests back. So that's my crushes and heartbreaks.
My crush and heartbreak, I don't know if I have a crush so much as...
Your crush could be that you're done with that test.
Yeah, well, so I took my
now.
phlebotomy licensing exam last Saturday. That's part of the reason why I wasn't recording last week and why I didn't have much progress on knitting. So I needed to study, which, is my fault anyways. I put off. I'm a procrastinator.
Yes, you are.
But I don't think it would have made a difference. So it starts off, I'll try and make it quick. It's a long drawn out. So we get this packet when we apply for the exam, and it gives us study material, and it gives us where it's supposed to be. I knew it was supposed to be in Roxbury, and I knew the time. I thought was 8 o'clock. Well, come the week before, all of a sudden I realize I don't have the piece of paper that tells me exactly where it is. This is Wednesday. So I look online. They've already taken the information down. I try and call the company, which is in North Carolina, and no one answers. No one answers. No one answers. I tried from 2 to 6. No one answered. I emailed them, and I started panicking. I couldn't sleep that night. Thursday comes in, I go back to my work, see if a couple of people can help me. One woman who I work with is a phlebotomy instructor at a college nearby. She didn't know who to contact because they don't get there. There's 2 places you can get your certification, your license, your national license. One is ASPT, American Society of Phlebotomy Technician, which is where I was going through, and then the ASCP, which stands for something else. Either one is fine. I just went with the ASPT because a few of my other coworkers did that.
Yeah.
But her school deals with the ASCP. So on Wednesday, I looked on the internet. I called my school that I graduated from. They didn't know. I called the next testing site in January. They didn't know. My manager came in. She was willing to call these people at home through the white pages. I'm like, let's not do that. Then somebody mentioned calling a facility, which I already did, but I called one out of state, and I happened to reach ASPT in Florida. She said, well, have you tried calling them? I said, I did, but do you have an alternate number? Because the number I have for the last 2 days just rings and rings and rings. She goes, well, did you email them? I said, yes, I did. She goes, well, they should respond to you shortly because they're very good on the email. I'm like, all right. But she took my number, and she said she was going to text her contact. So about the time she was calling me back, I got an email stating them that it was at the Roxbury Community College at 10 a.m. I said, okay. I called to confirm. The guy who answers the phone says, outpatient lab. Well, that's kind of weird to answer for Roxbury Community College. I told him, I said, I think I have the wrong number. He goes, I thought I was reaching Roxbury Community College. He goes, for what? I said, for an exam that I'm having on Saturday. He goes, well, the venue has changed. You reached the right number, but the venue has changed. It's now at the VA at Jamaica Plain, which, if you're familiar with Boston, Jamaica Plain and Roxbury and Boston, they're all there. They're
all together.
It's just like a little segment.
It's like a suburb.
Yeah.
It's actually part of Boston.
It's like the Bronx in New York.
It's like a neighborhood that's called Jamaica Plain.
They do have their own zip code, but that's because Boston's so big. Yeah. But I'm like, okay. So he gives me the address. I call them to verify it because I'm not stupid.
Especially after
all this rigmarole. And I get something else that I wasn't expecting. They're like, let me pass you through to the phlebotomy. I'm like, all right, fine. Talk to this guy. He's like, let me patch you through to someone else. I end up going back to the guy that I was talking to at Roxbury Community College. I'm like, what the heck? So I talked to him. I said, I think I just spoke to you. I just want to confirm this is for the ASPT exam on Saturday. He goes, yes, it is. I said, okay, 10 a.m. He goes, no, 9 a.m. I'm like, oh my gosh. So I'm like, all right, fine. I'm going to be camping out there overnight. So I get up on Saturday. I study. I get up on Saturday. I leave the house by 7. Because I'm going there. I'm like, well, let me just drive by Roxbury Community College and see what it says anyways. I drove by it. I wouldn't even know where to begin to go into the place. So I'm like, well, let me go to the VA. So I go to the VA. It's almost 8 o'clock, and it says the exam is up on the 2nd floor. This is how you get it. I'm like, oh, good. At least I'm in the right place.
So we know that you're in the right place.
No, we're in the right place. So I get up there. They open up the place. He goes, come on in. I take my studying material, and it's me and this other woman. And I find out that the guy who's proxying it, watching over us, is actually a phlebotomy instructor, and a lot of his students are taking the exam. One of the girl that was with me is one of them. So after a little bit of each of us studying, we started talking, and it looks like I'm lucky because I'm like the only one in that whole group that had a job. Wow. Yeah. A lot of people aren't hiring unless you have experience or the license. So I'm glad I stayed. Anyways. 9 o'clock comes around and we're still the only 2 people there. So I asked the guy, I said, I thought it started at 9. He goes, well, ASPT asked me to delay it because of the change of venue. I'm like, when did the venue change? He goes, just this week. I'm like, wasn't anyone going to notify us? He goes, well, they gave me emails, but they only gave me emails to the people I already had contact with through my class. Oh, I'm like, my God. I know when I filled out this application, I probably gave them my phone number. Yeah. They couldn't make a simple phone call. It was like 23 people tops taking this exam. Finally took the exam at 11:15. Supposed to start originally at my paper at 8. Then I was told 9. Then I was told 10.
And then they had to delay it because it turns out
everybody went to the Roxbury Community College for 10 a.m. And a lot of these people took public transportation. So we didn't start until 11:15. And still somebody came in late. So I'm taking the exam. It's multiple choice. I'm answering it as best I can. Putting a mark. It's fill in the squares or fill in the circles with the number 2 pencil. Yeah. I'm answering them. Any questions I had, I put a little mark aside so I could review it. I go through it. I review it. I turn it in. A few people had turned their exams in, and he had taken them outside and done the practical with them. So I noticed one woman turned it in and sat back down, and then I turned it in, and he goes, we're almost, the time's almost up. Do you mind waiting? I'm like, yeah, sure, whatever. So I had
at that point,
I had 5 minutes. They had 5 minutes left. So I had finished my exam and reviewed it, and still with 5 minutes left. And I was shocked that it was that quick because it seemed like it was a blink of an eye. Yeah. 220 questions, 2 hours to do it. 30 seconds each question. I think I kicked a cat. No, I kicked a toy. When he called the time, so there were, I'd say 3 people ahead of me that left and did the practical, and then me and this other woman who didn't. I'd say there were 20 people. 3/4 of the people didn't finish the exam. And out of those 3/4, I don't think 50% flipped the page over to do the second side.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So he collects the exam, and then he did the practical, which was fine. It was a joke more than anything. Because he didn't have any stuff for me to actually do it on. I had to walk him through it. I'm like, oh, what do I do? I don't know. Without the stuff, you got to think about all the stuff that you have. Yeah. So I walked him through it. On the sheet of paper, it says I'll know 8 to 12 weeks. But my coworker found out within 2 weeks. So hopefully in a couple of weeks, I'll find out whether or not I pass. So I'm going to find out whether or not I pass by either getting a letter in this envelope that we had to self-address. Yeah. Or the certificate. Ooh. But we figured out, so I did the practical, and he marked off yes for everything. So I basically aced the practical. I should hope so. I do it every day. We figured out that I needed, on the written exam, to at least get a 60. That would be 132 out of 20 questions correct. I'm like, well, if I didn't get 132 questions correct, then I'm complete idiot.
You'll be fine.
But
I'm sure
oh my
you
gosh,
pass.
the exam, I hope to never take it again.
That's kind of how I felt about the bar exam.
Yeah, I can imagine.
You know, you got it done, and you were like, I just want this to be the last time. And in the bar exam, we were told you either got a thin envelope if you passed, or a thick envelope with the materials to reapply to take it again if you didn't pass. So when I opened my mailbox, I was dancing up and down, thin envelope, thin envelope. I was really excited, and I passed. But I found out later from my friend who did not pass that he got a thin envelope too, and he was like, thin envelope.
Yeah. Oh.
So apparently that was just like a myth.
Well,
good thing I didn't know that.
Talking to my coworker, and when she was passing her exam for her lab tech.
Yeah.
They were told that if you had your ASPT or ASCP membership number on it, that's how you knew you passed on the envelope. I'm like, oh, I hope they don't do that. But so yeah, I'm glad to have that done. There was a girl next to me who this was her third time taking it. First time she failed because of an English barrier. I think that's why a lot of people didn't finish it.
Oh, maybe.
There was a lot of English was not their first language people. And she was taken for the third time because she let her license lapse, and you have to retake it. I'm like, I will never do that.
Don't do that. Yeah, I know. That's how I feel about it. Which reminds me, I need to pay my bar fee so that I can continue to be registered. Okay.
Yeah, so that's my crush, heartbreak, whatever you want to call it.
Well, I think it's a crush that you're done.
And I feel bad because it's like 20 minutes of 11. I called my husband. I said, I haven't even started this exam. I thought I was going to be done by then.
I know.
And I'm like, you got to take the kids here, there, and everywhere. It's like, gee, thanks.
Like it's your fault.
I didn't get home until 2. Left my house at 7, didn't get home until 2. Said to my husband, I am not cooking dinner.
Good for you.
We ended up having pizza at a neighbor's house, but yeah.
All right, Baubles and Bling. We both got this. Jessalu, who is Stitched by Jessalu, did Halloween-themed bags, and we both really liked them, so we each ordered one. And it's got this creepy stuff on the outside, and on the inside, it's like a coordinating creepy, like, witch supplies.
And yeah.
Fan with a bat on it, a brain. It's really cool. I almost like the inside better than the outside.
Can you reverse it? Is it reversible? It almost looks like it does.
No, because it's got a seam. But a very neat seam, I was
just going to say, it's a very neat
it's seam. It's a very neat seam, I must say.
Besides the zipper.
A wedge bag.
See, you could do it reverse if you really want.
You could totally do it reverse. It's reversible!
Jess is going to hit me.
I know.
She's going to walk up to me at Rhinebeck and go,
She's going to want to. I love it.
I do too.
I love that it has the blood red zipper.
Oh, I didn't even think about it. Yeah, that's
cool. It coordinates.
Now I can't unzip.
Sheila broke her Jessalu bag.
I wasn't done fooling around with it.
I think you got it.
I'll fix it.
I don't know if this is. There, I got it. Don't do that again. You're like a 5-year-old. It goes like this.
I have no sleep in me. It's my excuse, and I'm sticking with it.
Anyway, it's really cool. I love that she's doing wedge bags now on updates.
I like wedge bags.
I think they're so versatile.
It's got little things here so that you can hold it to zip.
And I just checked, and my iPad mini fits right in it, so I could put a project in my iPad mini in it.
I have my little thing in there.
And it totally matches.
It does. See?
It's awesome. I love it. And it has the signature B bag jewelry. I love bag jewelry. Did you know that you can remove the bag jewelry?
Oh, yeah. I see the clasp.
In case you want to watch it. Watch it. Wash
I was going to say, what am I going to do? Watch the jewelry?
And I'm just going to hold it in my hand and watch it.
Make sure it doesn't fly away. Make sure it doesn't fly away.
I love the bead jewelry.
Do we have the same bead jewelry?
Yes, we do. It has a little Swarovski crystal. I love it. Thank you, Jessalu, for making these wonderful bags and letting us buy them.
I got decapitated people on mine.
I don't. Oh, wait. Yes, I do. Look. That makes it even more creepy because she's headless. It's this lady. I like this lady right here. This lady, looks like she has snake hair.
There's some really creepy people on this.
Yes, there are. I love this. I haven't seen this material.
No, I don't think I have.
This is not something I've seen. So yeah, I love it. And I love it's kind of subtle enough so that I wouldn't feel like
it's not a Halloween bag, it's just a
creepy bag.
Yeah.
I would feel comfortable using this all the time. I don't know if she has any left. I think they probably went pretty fast. But
well, we ordered it a couple weeks ago, too.
I know. And then she had an online update with these bags. So I think they, but you can ask her if she has any material left. She does do special orders. You can check her out on Stitched by Jessalu at Big Cartel.
Just don't ask her to do it reversible.
Yeah. Now everybody's going to call her up. No. Sheila's bag is reversible.
No, it is not. It's me being an idiot.
I can see Jess' eyes shooting flames at you when she watches it. She is. So there's that. And then the other thing that I got when I was at the beach is a goldfish Tervis cup. It has iced tea in it. You can see the goldfish. It's double insulated. It's plastic on the outside, and then there's a plastic cup in the inside, and there's air in between. And the
She's got goldfish in it.
It's goldfish. Yeah, I'm drinking goldfish because that's what I do. It has, I bought the removable handle, which is
okay, that's separate.
Yeah, it's like $5.99 or something. You can get different lids. I picked orange because it goes with the goldfish, but I think like an aqua one would have looked really good. I don't know if they have aqua, but it would have looked really good. Oh, there's already a scratch on it.
Well, you got a couple of scratches there, girl.
Yeah, wow. Okay, so yeah. I like it.
And we also got buttons for Rhinebeck.
We did! Yay!
A bag
buttons. I order our buttons from Pure Buttons in case you are someone out there who is interested in ordering.
So if you see us in Rhinebeck, say hi, and we'll give you a button.
Give you a button.
Oh, that's really bad. The light's hitting.
There you go. Wait. There you go.
That's us.
And it has our website on it, I think. It's spelled right. It's the same button we had last year. I was going to go with a new design for this year, but I was too lazy. Sorry. So, with that being said, let's move on to Gossip and Innuendo.
Let's just, Rhinebeck's in 2 weeks. Just had to say it.
The number one thing I'm going to tell you is we have upcoming events. They're in the show notes. Like I said, I'm going to be at Topsfield Fair next Wednesday. In the spinning bee. If anybody is going that particular night, come by the barn where they're doing the spinning bee and say hello. But yes, Rhinebeck is coming up. We're going to be at Rhinebeck in 2 weeks. After that, I am going to be at the Biggie Fiber Festival the first weekend of November. And then I'm going to be at Stitches East, which is the following weekend. So those are the two things. Everything's in the show notes. If you want to do a meetup, start a thread on our Ravelry group. And I'll tell you what time I'm going to be there if you want to come up and say hello. Or if you just are at the event and you see me, come up and say hello. I'm totally open to that. Don't feel weird about it. I like it when people say hello. Because people watch us and they see us all the time, but we don't know you. So it's kind of cool.
All we ask is just don't come up like
don't
we do
scare
know
us.
you.
Don't scare us.
Don't jump out and say, boo!
Hello!
Introduce yourself, please, because we don't know you. This camera doesn't work both ways.
But it is cool when we meet people who watch the show.
Oh, it's so much fun.
Yeah, I love that. I've made some very good friends that way, actually. So
yeah.
So let me do quickly the Skein review. Skein was created by a man called Tom Burns. And what it does is it has a notepad. And you can take pictures or jot down notes at the beginning of your app. What I really like about it is it has a yarn. This is what it looks like. You can see that there is a notepad icon, a yarn icon, needle or tool icon, signpost, which is to find a local yarn store, and then the settings. If you click on the yarn, you can either search Ravelry's database. It links up with Ravelry, or you can search your own stash. When you do your own stash, it comes up like this. This is some of my stash. So here's my Blue Moon Fiber Arts in my stash. If I click on that, it'll show the picture that I have on Ravelry and all the information, including how many yards I have, what its weight is, who the manufacturer is, all the information that you put into your yarn page on Ravelry, or that is automatically put in when you register it as a yarn, will come up on here. So if you're out in a store, you can just click on the yarn button, click on your stash, and see everything that you have to tell if you have it, if you've already bought that, which is my big problem. Like, I'm like, oh, I love this, and then I'm like, wait, I already own that. That happens to me more than I would like to admit.
I was just going to say more.
Yeah, I don't like that. I don't
it.
even want to tell you how often that happens. So that's really good. And then you can also tell if you have enough to complete a project. Like you see a pattern when you're out at a festival or something that requires 800 yards, and you're like, how many yards of that do I have? You can quickly check. It is faster. And I've been using it. It's faster than going on the internet and logging into Ravelry and then looking up your thing. It's a lot easier to use and it's faster, so it's pretty handy that way. It also has a tools bar that shows every needle and crochet hook that I've entered into Ravelry, so I can look and tell if I have the correct size needle or crochet hook. That's not really that useful for me because I have like at least 5 complete sets.
Well, I was going to say, it tells you if you have them. It doesn't tell you where they are.
Yeah. Well, and I have at least 5 complete sets of circular needles, sizes,
so you know you have
sizes
them.
1 through like 16 or whatever, 17. So I know that I have the needles, but for people who have, a less crazy, obsessive needle collection, this would be really handy for you so that you could tell if you needed to buy the tools. The shops feature will tell you where you are, and then it uses the connection with Ravelry to tell you what yarn stores are near you.
So what's the nearest one?
I don't know. I'm looking.
Oh, actually, I know the nearest one.
I know the nearest one, too.
What's
So
the next nearest
when
one?
you look at my dot, you can see that they are showing yarn stores. The nearest one is going to be Sit and Knit.
Yeah.
There's a yarn store called the Knit Shop.
Oh, yeah.
Butterfly Yarns.
It's still listed, huh?
I don't know if it's open or not.
I don't know. I don't go by that either.
And I think the next nearest one is, it didn't show me farther away, but anyway, this is really cool if you're traveling somewhere, and you can find out if you're anywhere near a yarn shop, if you are one of those people who's driving on a road trip and you're like, yeah, let's just see.
Yeah.
We could make a little detour. It's available for $1.99, and I have to say I really like it. And another thing that I like about it is it'll put a badge on your profile page that says you're a Skein user, which is kind of neat.
Yeah.
But yeah, it interacts with it needs to use information from your Ravelry account, so you have to set it up to be able to log into your Ravelry account. But I really like it. He also has a Ravelry group, user group, so you can join that and see news and updates and stuff, I imagine. But yeah, I don't know. If you aren't a person that keeps your stash well updated in your Ravelry account, this is not going to be the app for you. You really do have to be that person who logs everything in. Like I try to log everything in.
I try to log it in. I may not have pictures of everything, but I definitely
the pictures. It's great that you can see the pictures. So for me anyway, because I accidentally buy the same yarn sometimes, so it's good that I can look and see. Oh wait, yeah, I do have that, because I might not remember the name of it, but the colorway I'll remember. But if you do keep up with your Ravelry, this is awesome. It kind of reminds me of the old days when there was that Ravelry app. Remember the Ravelry app for the iPhone like 3 or 4 years ago? It doesn't do it anymore. It's faster than trying to look it up. Because
yeah. I'm sorry. You mean the Ravelry itself.
Yeah, you can get the information more quickly. I'm not really clear on how it would work if you don't have an internet connection. I'm not sure if the information is loaded there and stays on your account. When I do it on my account, you'll see the yarn comes up. So here's the yarn. It comes up pretty quickly. So I don't know if it just periodically checks with my Ravelry account, but most of the data is already in here. I'm not really sure how that works. So you might want to go to the group and ask that. But $1.99, I think it would be worth the money. So if you like
$1.99, absolutely.
I think it would be worth the money. It's a pretty handy tool. I know I'm going to be using it at Rhinebeck. If you're going to Rhinebeck, you might want to get it. So as I discussed earlier, we are a part of the blog tour for Hitch, a new book edited by Stephannie Tallent. She curated a bunch of patterns by some fabulous designers. They're all inspired by Alfred Hitchcock films. So if you're a Hitchcock fan, you'll really like it. This is the cover of the book. Stephannie Tallent, if you've watched the show for a long time, those were the gloves that got me thinking I might want to do gloves. Stephannie Tallent is the one who designed she did California Revival Knits, which we did a blog tour for last year and gave away a PDF copy. And she designed the wrought iron cardigan that I made for Rhinebeck last year, which I love. And here's just a preview of the kind of things you're going to find in here. There are sweaters, jackets, hats, socks, shawls, everything. There is something for every knitter and probably for every level of knitter. And here's the second page. And I'm going to link to the pattern page for the book so that you can review all of this online. I really like that the inspiration is Alfred Hitchcock. I'm a big Alfred Hitchcock fan. And I love that sort of 40s, 50s, and 60s sensibility. Here's a really pretty shawl that's in there, the Constance shawl.
Oh, that's pretty.
I like how they kept the collection in the same colorway. Here's a beautiful color work. I really don't like the way that Goodreader works on the new iOS. They need to do something about that.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of it either.
It's a pretty color work beret. That's by, it's the Alicia Tam, and it has matching mitts by Annie Berg. I love this colorway sweater called 3 Second Kiss by Becky Herrick. It's really gorgeous. And I love the fit. It's kind of got that sleek fit. I love that it has the little V notch in it, but it's color work. Kind of adds something special to it. So that's something that really appealed to me. It's got the color work on the sleeves too, and the charts, you can just quickly see from here, are very well done with the coordinating colors, so it's easy for you to see what you're doing. These are the gloves that kind of inspired me to make gloves. I love the stitching detail on the cuff and the little button. I think they're really sweet. Aren't they pretty?
They are.
Those are designed by Stephannie Tallent. A lot of names that I've heard and loved. Here is another version. I like
that one, I think, better.
I love the dark with the contrasting red, and I love how these have a longer sleeve. They're just really pretty. There's a sleeveless trench pullover that I really like. That would work so well for fall and spring. That's by Nadia Stallings. I'm having a lot of problems with the Goodreader. It blacks out the pages.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on.
There's a couple of great sock patterns. That is the Kentley sock by Heather Ordover. Somebody's yelling outside my house. See how it does that?
I know, I've been having issues with it.
Here's another sock pattern. So these are nice detailed socks with patterns. I think that'd be fun. That's by Rachel Coopy.
Wow. I
love this. I love the styling of this. That would be great for office wear.
Yeah.
I just really like it. That sweater is $1,100 sweater by Eleanor King. It looks like you would pay $1,100. It's a pretty sweater.
Oh, excuse me.
And here is another set of fingerless gloves that I like with the cute button detail. Very 1950s.
That must be where it switches, just because you can see the line a little bit.
Yeah.
Just
Stella Gloves by Catherine Vaughn. Oh, and this. I love this. It's a cropped sweater with lace detail. I think that is so pretty.
That's pretty.
Greenwich Village Cardigan by Linda. Oh, good reader just died. That's the other thing. It keeps crashing.
Well, hopefully they'll fix it soon. I'm sure they're working on it.
I know. It's just...
I know.
Now I'm all lost where I was. Okay. It keeps telling me about future crashes. Really? Oh, good. I got right back to where I was before. There's a hat. A very pretty cabled hat. That is Exacta Hat by Stephannie Tallent, who is the editor of the book. Very detailed charts for that. And it uses several different kinds of stitches inside the cabling, which I think make it really interesting and unique. That'd make a great Christmas gift. A very simple shawl. Just color blocked shawl. Riviera Night Stole by Brenda Castile.
Well, I like that.
I love this sweater too. Very simple, clean. It's got like that 1960s vibe. I love the keyhole neck with the button. That's Not Your Gal Friday sweater by Jeanette Cross. Ooh, I know. This is the Francie scarf by Triona Murphy. You can wear it the way Grace Kelly does. They actually give you instructions on how to wear it. Oh, like Grace Kelly does in the movie. That's kind of cool.
That is
I
kinda cool.
like it that they added that. Here's another color blocked shawl with lace. And that is Miss Fremont shawl. And there is a men's sweater with stripes and color blocking and a zip from the Roby sweater by Christina Wall. And I love it has the lining on the... Oh, God. I'm really having problems with this. The lining on the sleeves and the neck has a pop of red on it.
Mm.
And it has really detailed instructions on how to insert a zipper, which I love that they do a visual tutorial. A capelet. The Ambrose Chapel capelet by Louise O'Neill. It's got lots of textures. Another pair of gloves that I kind of love. With the zigzag
Are all these
stripe.
gloves done in finger? It looks like they're in finger.
Rebecca
right?
Blair's Madeline gloves. That looks like fingering.
A little short for me, but that is easily
A
changeable.
little neck scarf. The San Juan Batista shawl by Elizabeth Green Musselman. There is Souvenir of a Killing Hat by Kristen Hanley Cardozo. Cute little colorwork hat. It's kind of pretty. That lady looks like Hitchcock.
Yeah, it does.
Cute little jacket sweater. Kind of like a, I don't know what you would call that. Cypress point sweater by Glenna C., who is a well-known designer. I'm trying to go through these quickly. Oh, I love this sweater. This is the Judy Henley by Carolyn Noyes. And I just want to point out that Carolyn Noyes is a tech editing client of mine. And we're going to be doing a contest with her coming up. I have to finalize the details with her, but I think that's going to be kind of fun for another pattern, not this one that I worked on with her this summer. These are beaded mitts. These are by Stephannie Tallent, called Stolen Jewels Mitts. And there's a little note with each one to tell you what the inspiration was. I like this sweater. Just a simple Henley style sweater. Argyle Midge sweater. And that is by Karen Wilmoth. Oh, this gorgeous colorwork cowl. I don't really enjoy doing colorwork, but I just think that is so pretty. That is Thornhill Cowl by Stephannie Tallent.
Well, that's pretty.
I know. This is a beautiful beaded shawl. And it is the Melanie Shawl by Nina Macklin Dayton. And this huge wrap. That is a long stole. And that is the Bodega Bay stole by Anna Podlesak. That looks really nice. Tippy Toes by Jill Bigelow Subtle. Very long socks in 2 colors. I know I won't be knitting those. But they're very pretty. And they give you a pattern for the front of the leg and the back. I love this. This is a very simple,
A lot of patterns.
Clean. Yeah, it's packed with patterns. The Annie Pullover by Christina Verge or Werge. I'm just making it up. And that's it. And then they have a long list of abbreviations and techniques. And they give you a list of the filmography that these were based on. And there's a section that tells you all about the designers that are featured in this book and information about the yarn. It is worth purchasing. I think you could find something in this for every skill level, for every taste level. There are simple, quick projects like hats and gloves, and then there are sweaters. I think some of the sweaters are in that sort of classic style that It's not going to... You can wear them forever. I love the book. We're going to do... Oscar found a toy. He comes trotting out with a toy.
So
jingle, jingle, jingle. We are going to do a contest. I'm going to start a...
Sorry.
We are so almost done. Like a minute away from being done.
All right, well, just come on.
We're going to do a contest thread. I want you to tell me, I want you to look at the pattern booklet for Hitch. I'm going to link it in the thread and I'll link it in the show notes. And I want you to tell me in the thread which of the designs you would pick to knit if you owned the PDF. And next week we're going to draw the name of a person from that thread who's going to win the PDF file. Oh my God. Snatch that toy away from him.
Just go. Stop right now.
Okay. So anyway, check it out. That's all I have.
There's a list of upcoming events again in our notes.
It's in the show notes.
We'll see you at Rhinebeck, whoever's going.
Yep, and we'll see you next week.
Knit with Heart.
Bye.
Thanks for watching.